Hi, in this video I'll show you how to use our Employee Weekly Timesheet in Excel. When you make a purchase, you also get the Google Sheets version, and both versions work the same way. This template is very simple and easy to use. Right now we're on the Instructions tab, and we'll follow each step one by one. Step 1 says, open the Setup tab. Choose your currency, pay type, overtime pay rate, and leave types. So let's go to the Setup tab and begin the initial setup. This is the Setup tab. I will explain each option here. First, you can choose your country's currency symbol using the drop-down menu. Once selected, it will automatically update in the timesheet instantly. Next is pay type. Here, you can choose whether you pay your employees for break hours or not. We've given an example to help you understand better. In most cases, break hours are not included in the payout, so by default, it is set to exclude break hours from pay. But if your company pays for both work hours and break hours, then select Include Break Hours for Pay. For now, I will leave it as Exclude Break Hours from Pay for this demo. Next, you can set the overtime rate, whether it is 1.5 times the hourly rate after 40 hours a week or 2 times the hourly rate. In most cases, it is 1.5 times, so I will leave it as it is. Below, we have added an example to show how overtime is calculated. At the bottom, we have included an option to disable OT pay. If your company does not pay anything extra for overtime, you can select Disabled. If you pay employees for their OT hours, select Enabled. For now, I will keep it enabled and later show you how the OT calculations work. Lastly, the leave types. Here you can customize up to 6 leave types, and any changes you make will instantly reflect in the timesheet. The default leave types are commonly used in most companies. You can keep them as they are or change them as needed. For now, I will leave them as they are. Once you finish this setup, step 1 is complete. Just make sure everything here is set correctly at the beginning and avoid changing these settings later. Now let's move to step 2. Step 2 says, go to the Employee List tab and enter all your employee details. This is the Employee List tab, and here you need to enter all the employee information along with their hourly rate. So now let me quickly add the employee details. Yep, now you can see I've added the 20 employee names along with their hourly rates. Once you enter all the employee details, step 2 is fully completed. Step 3 says, open the blank sheet, make a duplicate copy, and rename it to the week you're going to use it for. This is the blank sheet, and each week you need to create a duplicate of this sheet. Never use the blank sheet directly. Always make a copy and work on that. This way, your original blank template stays untouched and can be duplicated every week. To make a copy, hold Control Windows or Option Mac, then click and drag the Sheet tab. This will create a duplicate sheet. Once the copy is made, rename the tab to the week you're going to use. For Google Sheets, just right-click the tab and select Duplicate to make a copy. Great, now we have the sheet ready to use for this week. With that, step 3 is completed. Before moving to step 4, let's quickly check the Example tab to see how the timesheet looks when data is entered. This is the Example tab, and it gives you a quick idea of how everything works. So let's take a quick look. Okay, now that we've seen the Example tab and how the data should look, let's move to step 4 to enter the actual data. Step 4 says enter the week start date. The sheet will update automatically. Then copy the employee names from the employee list and paste them into your new weekly sheet. You can add up to 100 employees per tab. So now let's go to the timesheet and enter the week start date we're going to use. I'm going to use the same date for this demo, but to change it, just delete the existing date and enter the new week start date. As you can see, the whole week updated automatically. Now I'll add the supervisor name. Once these two are done, I will simply copy and paste the employee details from the employee list, just like this. Yup, that's all. Now the timesheet is fully ready to use for this week. Next, we just have to enter each employee's time in, time out, and break hours. These 3 columns have drop-down menus, so I'll go ahead and select the time in and time out. Now I'll select the break hours the employee took for the day. Once the time in and time out are selected, you can see the work hours are calculated automatically. So now I'll add a few more entries. It's very easy. Just use the drop-down menu to enter their work hours. Now, how do we add their weekly offs or leaves? It's simple. Just go to the time in column for that employee and type the name of the leave. When you start typing, the drop-down menu will show the leave name. Then select that leave and merge the cells like this. By this simple method, you can add their leaves or weekly offs. Now I'll update the entire week's leaves and weekly offs for all employees. For that, I'll use a small trick. Since I already merged a leave cell for this employee, I can just copy that same cell and paste it into the next employee's time in column. After that, I'll simply change the leave name just like this. In the same way, let me quickly update this for the full week. So now you can see that I've updated all their leaves for the week. As the days pass, I just have to fill in the time in and time out for the entire week. In your case, employees may work only on weekdays and have weekends off. For that, you will follow the same process. The example shown here is for businesses that operate 365 days a year. So now let me quickly fast forward and add all the work timings for all employees. For this week, all employees' work hours and leaves are added. Now, let's check their weekly payout details. Normally, to view the payout section, we scroll to the right. To make this easier, we've added a quick group option so you can see payout details anytime with just one click. At the top, you'll see a minus button. I'll click that now. Wow! You can see all the weekdays instantly hidden and all the employee payout details appear in one view. If I want to see their work timings again, I just click the plus sign. With this simple feature, you can hide the weekday columns and view the payout details in seconds. Cool, right? And with this, I've also shown you step 5 and step 6. That completes how to use our weekly timesheet, but I want to cover a few more practical points. Earlier in the Setup tab, I mentioned the option to enable or disable OT hours, and now I'll show you how the calculations work. In this example, you can see that overtime hours are calculated automatically. Any employee who works more than 40 hours in a week will have their extra hours shown here, along with the overtime pay. In the total pay column, the OT amount is also added. This calculation works because we have OT enabled in the Setup tab. But if your company policy does not pay extra for overtime, simply disable that option in the Setup tab. Because we have disabled the OT hours pay, the calculation now only uses the total hours worked multiplied by the hourly rate. So as I mentioned earlier in the Setup tab, make sure you enable or disable overtime based on your company policy, whether you pay for OT hours or not. Also, since these calculations involve money, please make sure every time in and time out entry is accurate because these directly affect the final payout. Now you fully understand how to use our weekly timesheet, and you can delete the example tab. That's all I wanted to share, and I hope this template makes your work easier. Just make a duplicate copy of the blank sheet every week, and you can use this template forever. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please visit my website or my Etsy shop for more templates. If you have any ideas to share, feel free to let me know so we can make the templates even more helpful for more people. I'll end the video here. See you again in the next one. Bye. GG.